machine learning is not the entire solution, it can be part of the solution.
Because the system is not just about technology.
Hi friends, this is Vetrivel PS. Welcome back to my channel, the Hack Weekly Data and AI Community. Today we are going to review an amazing book called Designing ML Systems by Chip Huyen, who is the author, and the publication is from O'Reilly. Let's get started. Before we deep dive into what this amazing book is to offer us, we are going to see where this book is available in India. So I bought this book through Amazon. It is available both in Amazon and Shroff Publishers website. I think you will get a very good discount when you buy through the publisher website. So who this book is for? Whoever is interested in solving real world problems using ML and certain amount of deep learning. Whoever is interested in building ML systems at scale, this book is for them. And what this book is not is basically it won't teach you specific algorithms like linear or logistic regression. It assumes that the person already knows all these algorithms and certain techniques or even metrics like F1 score or accuracy. So which means this book is not for a complete beginner. Rather, this book is for someone who knows most of the ML concepts technically, but are looking to build systems using machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms at scale. It will also help majorly in ML ops. So let's get started. Let's understand who the author is. Chip Huyen is the co-founder and CEO of Claypot AI. Earlier, she has worked at big corporations like Nvidia, Snorkel AI, and Netflix, where she has helped develop, evaluate, and deploy scalable ML systems in production. And that knowledge and experience that she has gained is what we are really blessed to have from her in this book. And this is Vetrivel PS, who has 10 years of experience in this machine learning and AI field. I'm really thankful to Chip Huyen and also all the machine learning engineers, data scientists, and software professionals who want to be and continue to work in this data science and machine learning field should be thankful for a great book like Designing Machine Learning Systems. And I also thank O'Reilly for publishing and spreading the knowledge across the world. And here I would also like to say more about Chip's expertise is in the intersection of software engineering and machine learning, and that is why she is able to sculpt each and every chapter based on an engineering perspective as well as a machine learning perspective. And this perspective is what is going to help each and every reader of this book. This chapter is basically about the overview of machine learning systems, and let's see what are all covered in this chapter. This chapter basically deals with machine learning use cases and machine learning case studies that are in production and specifically for enterprise. And also it tells that certain problems don't need machine learning and what kind of problem needs machine learning. If machine learning is not the entire solution, it can be part of the solution that can be presented. So that's what the entire chapter deals. Chapter 2 is Introduction to Machine Learning Systems Design, and this is where the real game starts. Let us see what are all covered in this chapter. This chapter deals with machine learning and business objectives. And the second thing that this chapter deals with is the requirements for any machine learning system. What are all the 4 requirements for machine learning systems? That are reliability, scalability, maintainability, and adaptability. These are the 4 important ones. And next it deals with mind versus data and how the data that the models has been trained on has evolved over the last decade. And even today we are in the space of Gen AI because a large amount of data is used to train these machine learning models. Chapter 3 is Data Engineering Fundamentals. Here we see the different kinds of data that can come while building a machine learning application, and for each and every business problem, what kind of different formats of data can be present, how we are going to handle them, and certain things in the data pipeline. All these we are going to see in this chapter. This chapter deals with what are all the data sources, what are all the data models and data formats that are present, and what kind of data flow is present. I hope you like this video. If you like this, please share with all the AI and ML aspirants, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you friends. The most exciting chapters here, the chapter 4 is training data, where we use the available data to train our machine learning models. Let's get started. This chapter deals with 4 things: The first being data sampling, the second one being data labeling, the next is being class imbalance. A classic example of a class imbalance is a fraud detection, where we will not have those many samples for those specific class of fraud, whereas there will be millions of transactions for non-fraud and there will be only few rows for specific fraud rows. Chapter 5 is feature engineering, which is one of the most vital part of machine learning systems, without which none of these machine learning systems are going to work, especially for data that is tabular. We always need feature engineering in order to improve the machine learning systems. Let's deep dive into this chapter and see how it goes. We have come to the most vital part, which is feature engineering. Basically, feature engineering deals with exploratory data analysis, creating specific features for any kind of problems, whether it is a regression problem or a classification problem. And also we can deal with data leakage like problems. That is where this chapter covers a whole lot of things, and this is going to be very vital and very useful, and the core part of book lies on this feature engineering, whereas I would like to say this is not heavily focusing on feature engineering. That is one of the drawback of this book, where it has not completely covered this part. I love this chapter. We are in chapter 6, model develop offline evaluation, and this I think is the most important and interesting chapter for any machine learning engineer or AI engineer that is watching this video. So let's see what are all the topics that are covered here. This chapter deals with model development and offline training, and this is one of the most interesting chapter here. And I would like to say there are multiple things that are involved, starting from baseline of the model, experimenting with multiple models, and creating ensembles using bagging, boosting and stacking like techniques. Before going to chapter 7, I want to say that there is a summary at the end of each chapter, and that is going to be really helpful for taking certain notes of the entire chapter. Let's move to chapter 7. 7 covers model deployment and prediction service, basically, which is the most sought after skill in the industry is deployment. That is what we are going to learn in this chapter, and the author has given model deployment myths that needs to be busted, and also certain model compression techniques are being discussed in this chapter. In this chapter, we are going to see about the model deployment techniques, the offline versus online model deployment, and how batch training works. Model compression is also covered in this chapter. Chapter 8 deals with data distribution shifts and monitoring. Let's deep dive. In this chapter, data distribution shifts, how the machine learning system fails, and also how monitoring works. All these things are covered. As I was telling in the start, chapter 9 deals with continual learning and test in production, which is by far the best skill any software engineering and data professional can learn and acquire in these days. Let's deep dive into the chapter. Here, continual learning, why it is important, and what are all the ways where we can employ continual learning is being taught here. And also what kind of tests that can be performed. There are different types of tests that can be performed in production. All these are mentioned in this chapter. I hope you like this video. If you are like this, please share with all the AI and ML aspirants, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you, friends. Now we have reached chapter 10, which is the end of this book. The last chapter I would really consider, because as I said, chapter 11, the human side of machine learning, is still a bonus for this book. Chapter 10 talks about the infrastructure and tooling for MLOps. And let's see what are all the important techniques, tooling and infrastructure that are covered in this chapter. We are at the fag end of this book, where tools for MLOps are covered. And there's a wide range of tools that are used for MLOps, including ML flows. There we go. We are at the end of this book. Chapter 11, for me, really a bonus chapter, the human side of machine learning. This chapter always excites me. Whenever I want to read this book again, I go to this chapter first. Then I'll try to recap all the other chapters whenever needed. Let's deep dive what is present inside. The last chapter is human side of machine learning, the most important chapter that I would always like to read again and again. This chapter covers user experience, team structure, and the responsible AI concept. And these are all very important when you're designing an ML system. And once we are designing an ML system, keeping these important aspects into consideration, then system that we are building becomes absolutely robust. Hope this video is useful for you to pick up things whenever needed. Whenever you want to read certain chapters, you can come back to this video and see what kind of concepts and techniques are covered in each chapter. And also you can go back to the reviews from the AI experts that are being given at the end of this video. As I said before, MLOps Learners YouTube channel is a book club, where the author Chip Huyen herself comes into discussions in certain videos and encourages the readers to read the book, and also gives certain tips, and her knowledge also she has shared there. So I would urge each and every viewer of this video, please go there and gain more knowledge. Navigating this book is going to be a cakewalk because the author has segmented certain chapters, like chapters 4 to 6 cover the pre-deployment phase, chapters 7 to 9 cover the deployment and post-deployment phase, and chapters 3 and 10 mostly focus on the infrastructure, and even the chapter 10 focuses on the compute infrastructure and the machine learning platforms. So and the 11th chapter, as I already mentioned, which is a bonus, that focuses on the human side of machine learning. We also have a GitHub repository and a community for this, and it has been mentioned that there's also a Discord server on MLOps. All these are going to really help us. Thanks for supporting, friends. See you again in the next video.